Liberty Media RL Radio Station. Now live cue music now.
Everyone is out there prepping for the Hollywood apocalypse. Zombies, explosions, high-speed chases. Nobody's prepping for the right one, the boring one. I look around and see the crypto bros hoarding Bitcoin on USB sticks, convinced that when the shit hits the fan, they'll be the new kings. Here's a reality check. In a true hard reset, the grid goes down. And when the grid goes down, there is no cloud, there is no blockchain, and there are no servers. Your Ledger Nano S is just a very expensive, useless rock. So why are we here today talking about high-tech Liberty suites and local AI stacks? Because we are living in the golden hour, the brief window where the lights are still on. We aren't building this tech to live in the matrix. We're using this software as the pump to fill the physical tank. Your brain and your body, your bookshelf. We use the tech now to extract the knowledge we need to survive later. The software is the pump. Your mind is the weapon. Let's build the forge.
Sound, break the chains. Your voice, your choice, no data in vain. Liberty tunes where the free arts collide. Own your story, let your soul decide. Own your data, rock your freedom loud. Sing it high, stand up proud. Liberty tunes where the truth's alive. Freedom's anthem where dreams
Guess it helps if I push the button. Hello and welcome back to Liberty Tunes on Real Liberty Media. Go check out reallibertymedia.com. Check out libertytunes.org. I don't say this enough. You can get all these shows if you're listening live and you want to hear more and you like the music that I play and produce. You can get all that at libertytunes.org. Actually, let me take that back. It's castopod.libertytunes.org. There you can subscribe to the podcast. I kind of wet the noodle, teased it a lot last week as to what I've been doing. I've been building this thing called the Liberty Suite. And I do plan on releasing the code for it and all of the stuff that's built into it. But what it is basically, it's up to like 10 or 11 tools now that I've built using my local AI. And I'm going to go over and tell you exactly what it's all about today during the show. I mean, we've got 2 hours. It may not take the full 2 hours because I'm going to do the best I can because this is an audio show. And trying to explain it through audio so that I can convey it is going to be a pain in the ass. So once I get everything done and everything's working great, I will start doing some videos and throw them on YouTube and PeerTube and BitChute and wherever to show you how to do this on your own. Links to where you can find the actual source code so you can take it, copy it, change some file names and some paths in the code, and you can do it for yourself. So anyways, check this out. I kind of totally screwed up my script by saying all that at once. But anyways, this is actually what I wrote down for the script. Let's get right into the meat of it. We're watching the hijacking in real time. The word of the day is sovereign. Now, to you and me, people who actually value liberty and freedom, sovereign means something very specific. It means you answer to no one. It means you own your destiny. But in the tech world, words are just skins they wear to sell you the same old chains. We've been analyzing the corporate board view of this term. We looked at the top pitches from Dell, Zadara, and the venture capitalists at A16Z. And people, their definition of sovereignty is purely geopolitical. It has nothing to do with you. Take Dell and their Ion Tech propaganda. To them, sovereign AI is about data residency. As long as the server farm is physically located inside your country's borders and likely owned by a government-approved partner, they slap the sovereign sticker on it. When you have a Zadara, they don't even hide it. They pitch sovereignty explicitly as compliance for governments and banks. Since when did sovereignty become a synonym for doing exactly what the regulators tell you? And it gets worse. You have A16Z talking about foundational model diplomacy. They view AI as the new oil, a resource for nations to hoard, not for individuals to own. This is the strategy, and it's a classic capture and dilute. Big Tech realized the word sovereign is dangerous because it implies freedom. So the pivot is to hijack the term. They want sovereign to mean the king or the state owns the AI. Now, if you're wondering what started me on this particular thing is, I ran across a video from a YouTuber. He's really into AI. I don't know if he actually works in the industry, but he's really cool. And he built this thing. He threw the term out there, sovereign AI. And if the thing he built is a AI chat that small enough to runs on your phone locally, local AI on your phone. And I was like, dude, this is pretty cool. And he attached the term sovereign AI to it. My dumbass went to YouTube and typed in sovereign AI as a search term, and I pull up pages and pages of results of sovereign AI, and not one of them is talking about actual sovereign AI. They're talking about the state or the government or a company owns the AI and not the individual. And individuals have no right to own the AI. AI belongs purely in the hands of the government and the companies. And it's like, no, that's not sovereign. So that's what got me started on this. And this little rant that I have to say something about, because it's, when you hear sovereign AI, either go and remind them that what they are saying is sovereign is not sovereign AI. What they are saying is that it's centralized and controlled by the government. There is nothing sovereign about that. We need it to mean the individual owns the AI. So here's my bonehead view. The true definition. It's simple. Not your device, not your intelligence. I have a litmus test for this. It's the Unplug Test. If you can't unplug the internet cable from the wall and still run the model, it's not sovereign. It's a rental. What Dell is pitching as sovereign cloud is just a digital prison cell that happens to be built on your own soil. You're still a serf. You just have a local landlord instead of a foreign one. So the action item here is to reject the state sovereign narrative. If it runs on a cluster you don't have root access to, it's just digital serfdom 2.0. They're building AI factories for the state. We are here to build mind forges for the individual. So if we reject their cloud, what do we replace it with? We have to shift our mindset from being a consumer of consumer of tech. You have to bring it to being an industrialist of the mind. The holy grail here is total automation without the leash. We're moving away from reliance on big tech, APIs, Google, OpenAI, Anthropic. Why? Because those APIs can be throttled, they can be censored, and they can be turned off the moment your opinions become problematic. To do this, you need iron. You need the hardware stack. So let's talk about the rig that runs my Unkle Bonehead empire. Okay, first I've got Bigbitch. Bigbitch is not currently in operation right now. It's waiting on a power supply, and I plan to upgrade the GPU on it in the future. But for now, it's going to be the main GPU rig. It's going to handle all the actual inference. When I need a model to think, to analyze, to crunch data, it's going to go to Bigbitch. She does the heavy lifting, so I don't have to wait in line for a cloud server. But what I have right now are two other machines. I have OMBitch and OMBitch 2. In case you didn't know this, a fun little fact, I name all of my computers something bitch. Because with my experience with computers, every single one of them is a bitch. It's usually I usually go with like the name of the distro and then bitch. So like I've got OpenMandriva on both of these machines. So I've got OMBitch 1 and OMBitch and OMBitch 2. And they're both running OpenMandriva. Bigbitch is named Bigbitch because of the case, not necessarily because she is a big bitch. The case is freaking huge, and it like takes up half my desk. So that's why I named it Bigbitch. Anyways, I digress. OMBitch and OMBitch 2, they're both running OpenMandriva. They handle the lightweight requests, the scripting, the audio processing. They are the managers. They keep the workflow moving. And while in the background, Bigbitch is going to be the back room doing all the math and crunching the numbers. Heavy lifting stuff. But hardware is just a theater, hardware is just a heater without a brain. That's where Ollama comes in. Ollama is the engine. It's what lets us run these massive language models locally on our own metal. And the model of choice right now is Llama 3.2. Although for the last, I guess probably 5 or 6 days now, since it's been released, I've been using Minstrel 3.3 because it's a smaller LLM and it still runs on Ollama. Think of Ollama as Ollama is not the AI. Ollama is just the platform that an LLM runs on. The LLM that I am using is Minstrel 3.3. And it is outperforming Llama 3.2. So just so you know. Anyways, but the reason why is it seems to hit the absolute sweet spot between speed and intelligence for a local setup. It's smart enough to understand nuance, but fast enough that I'm not waiting 10 minutes for a response. In a live production environment, latency is the enemy. You will notice that you hear everybody talking about RAM. What most of them, when it comes to AI, what they're talking about for RAM is VRAM, which is what runs on your GPU. You can have 128 gigabytes of actual RAM on your computer, and that will help, but it's not going to be as fast as 12 gigabytes of VRAM on your GPU. So just keep that in mind and do your research when you're getting into doing all of this. Now, why is latency the priority? Because I'm spending my weekends tweaking Linux configs and managing GPU heat. No, it's about seizing the means of production. We have this stack, Bigbitch, Llama 3.2, Ministrel 3.3. You are no longer just a podcaster. You're a media conglomerate. The stack allows a single dissident me to produce content with the speed, accuracy, and efficiency of the entire CNN newsroom. They have interns and editors and producers. I have Python scripts and a GPU. And quite frankly, I'm liking my odds. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Bonehead, that sounds great. But I don't know Python. I don't know how to wrangle a llama. That was a really bad dad joke. Sorry. Listen to me. I'm not building a walled garden here. That's for Apple. That's for the digital serfs. I'm planning to take the entire Liberty suite, every messy bash script, every Python file, all the glue that holds this operation together, and I am going to dump it on GitHub. It's going to be open source, free as in freedom, and because I know looking at raw code can be intimidating, I'm also planning to record video walkthroughs. I'm going to fire up the screen recorder and show you exactly how these tools work. I'll show you how Liberty Intel wakes up. I'll show you how ShellSage helps me think. I don't just want to have a factory. I want us to have a network of factories. So look out for these links coming soon. We're going to take a break right now. When I come back, I'm going to open the toolbox and talk a little bit about the actual Liberty suite, the custom code I wrote to weaponize my hardware. So stay tuned.
Dare to speak, a new king has risen, with the crown that's steeped in deceit. Elon Musk the mogul, with the Twitter empire claim. But when he took the reins, did freedom really change? He called it X, a new name for the game, but the rules remain the same, the censors still get their aim. Shadow banning, suspending, and delating with these. The voices of dissent silence like a plague that won't freeze. Free speech ain't a buzzword, just a marketing scheme. We're trapped in an echo chamber where only one side screams. Musk got the megaphone, but what about the rest? Is freedom of speech just a myth, or is it time to protest? stages of revolution of a new world order too. But when he gets his way, does freedom still apply to you? Rumble, Gavin, Truth Social, they're all just as bad. A bunch of wolves in sheep's clothing with the same devilish past. Free speech ain't a buzzword, just a marketing scheme. We're trapped in an echo chamber where only one side screams. Musk got the megaphone, but what about the rest? Is freedom of speech just a myth, or is it time to protest? The game is rigged, the odds are stacked to keep us in line and make our voices black. We're living in a bubble where only one perspective reigns, but we won't be silenced, we'll rise up and make our voices known again. Elon's got his PR spin, but the truth is hard to find. He's just another master of spin, using freedom as a tool to bind. We're caught in a web of deceit, where truth is what they don't want to see. But we won't be fooled, we'll take back our voice and set humanity free. Free speech ain't a buzzword, just a marketing scheme. We're trapped in an echo chamber where only one side screams. Musk got the megaphone, but what about the rest? Is freedom of speech just a myth, or is it time to protest? Free speech ain't a buzzword, it's just a word that's lost its way. We need to fight for our rights every single day.
Unkle Bonehead is on RLM Radio. Own your data and rock your freedom.
Welcome back to the shop floor. Last segment, we talked about the iron. Bigbitch, the OM bitches, all them bitches. Now that I think about it, maybe I shouldn't name my computers bitches. What you doing? I was just hanging out, messing with my bitches. Oh, damn it. Anyways, but like I said, hardware without software is just a fancy, expensive way to heat your room. You need the code to drive the gears. So I'm calling this the Liberty Suite. It's the custom arsenal that I've written to automate the Unkle Bonehead empire, or protocol, whatever you want to call it. It's a mix of Python, Bash, and pure spite for the subscription model. But before we pop the hood, I want to tell you why I had to build this. Why go through the pain of writing code when I could just pay Adobe or Microsoft $20 a month? Turn your Bibles to the book of Nehemiah. Jerusalem's in the city in ruins. The walls are down. The people are vulnerable. Nehemiah goes back to rebuild the city. But he has enemies. Sanballat, Tobiah. Basically, the big tech and federal regulators of the ancient world are trying to stop him. They are threatening him. They're mocking him. So what does Nehemiah do? He doesn't stop building. He doesn't ignore the threat either. Nehemiah 4:17 says, "They which builded on the wall, and they that bear burdens, with those that laded, every one with one of his hands, wrought in the work, and with the other hand held a weapon, the sword and the trowel." That is the philosophy of the Liberty Suite. I'm trying to build something, content, culture, truth, that requires a trowel. But I'm doing it in hostile territory where our data isn't being harvested or is being harvested, and our speech is being throttled. That requires a sword. Every tool in this suite is designed to be both. It builds the content, and it defends the creator. Now let's look at the production tools first. These are the tools that replace the staff that I don't have. I am one dude doing all of this. I've teamed up with Sound Minds. He's the one running the Real Liberty Media radio station. But, as far as Liberty Tunes and libertytunes.org, that's all me. Just me. Scribe. That's the first thing. I call it the ear. Scribe. It's a terminal user interface. Most of these are terminal. Nearly all of them are terminal user interfaces. It handles auto transcription using whisper.cpp. Why is this a weapon? Because if you use otter.ai or Google to transcribe your meetings or your rants, you're feeding their database. You are training their model. Scribe listens to my audio and converts it into text and SRT files locally on my bitch. It doesn't send my audio to the cloud. It happens right here on bare metal. Sambalat doesn't get to hear what I'm saying until I publish it. We got another one called PersonaForge. That's my artist. If you've heard Byte Rebel dropping bars about the surveillance state, or Mirror Nocturne singing about love and death, it started on PersonaForge. Standard AI, ChatGPT, Claude, has a filter. It sounds like an HR department. It's sterile. PersonaForge is a creative writing terminal user interface that breaks the safety filter. It forces the local model to write in specific deep personas. It tells the AI, you are not a helpful assistant. You are an angry nu metal vocalist from 2025. Act like it. Third, there's a thing called ShellSage. Honestly, I built this just because I have fat fingers and I forget Linux commands. It's my sysadmin. It helps me code. It helps me summarize logs. But my favorite feature, the one that saves my sanity daily, is the WTF command. When the terminal spits out some cryptic error message that makes no sense, I just type WTF. ShellSage reads the error, accesses the local documentation, and explains it to me like I'm 5. It's the mentor in the machine. Tool number 4 is Image Crush. I don't know if you've ever used tinypng.com, but it's a place where you can scrunch your images down to literally nothing, and saves you a lot of space on your images, because image files can be huge for what they are. This, by Image Crush, it strips out the local, all the EXIF data, camera serial numbers, everything. You'd be surprised what's actually in an image file if you don't strip that stuff out. It's even got GPS coordinates in your image files. Think about that when you're up taking a picture on your phone and then you upload it to Google Photos or Apple Photos. You're giving them your GPS coordinates. Every single picture. They can put those on a map and see where you've been. So think about this stuff. But this, that's what Image Crush does. It strips all of that stuff out and then compresses the picture down and makes it completely smaller. Those are all the production ones. The audio and publishing side, this is the direct injection workflow, I call it. Castoprep. I hate tagging metadata. It's tedious, it's boring, and it's the kind of work that makes you want to quit podcasting. Castoprep automates it for me. It takes a raw FLAC file that I produce from the studio, converts it to MP3, tags them with the right ID3 tags, and embeds the artwork automatically. Turns a 20-minute chore into a 30-second script. Casto published. This is one, it's new. I'm working on it. So it's not done yet. But it's my holy grail. The goal is to push episodes from my local machine directly to my Castopod instance. No logging into the browser, no drag and drop, no clicking through menus, just a script that injects the content directly into the RSS feed from Castopod. It's the ultimate publish button. The next one is Simple Mastering GUI. For you audio files, there's a Simple Mastering GUI. I wrote the visual wrapper for a tool called Mastering_CLI. It takes a raw mix and gives it that final broadcast polish. The compression, the limiting, the EQ, messes with the RMS, all without needing a $500 plugin from Waves or Isotope. It sounds professional, but it's free. The foundation. This is the wall. You could say, I guess it's the wall. Finally, the infrastructure that keeps me safe. The foundation of the wall. MKM3U. This one handles the batch playlist generations for my personal radio station on my LAN. It keeps the music flowing. Yes, I have a radio station running on my LAN that I can listen to my radio all day long if I want to. Keeps the music flowing. This one's called Project Roadie, and it's the silent hero. It encrypts and mounts cloud storage, specifically Google Drive, as a local drive. Now you might ask, Bonehead, isn't Google the enemy? Yes. Yes, they are very much the enemy. That's why I use Roadie. It lets me use their storage for my music library backups. I use their disk space. I use their bandwidth. But because Roadie encrypts every single bit locally before it leaves my network, Google's got no idea what's in there. To them, it's just noise. To me, it's a backup. It's a blind drop. We're using the king's resources to build the resistance. That, in a nutshell, is the Liberty Suite. Well, I'm not done. I've got another one. I'm calling it the Mirror, the Liberty Mirror. And what it does is it's basically the same thing as Project Roadie, but it puts everything onto my external hard drive. And as I put stuff into the Liberty Suite folder and it does all the work, it will mirror that over to my encrypted external hard drive. So I've got a local copy and a copy on Google Drive. If you've distro hopped as much as I have in the last 15 years, you're bound to mess up and lose data somewhere. I'm not losing data no more. Oh, I've also got a thing called Liberty Archives, which is an automated deal. It's running ChromaDB that I can throw. I'm throwing all of these show notes into, and that's going to operate as RAG, your retrieval augmented something or other for the AI. The AI can access that, and I can ask my local AI and say, hey, what did I say on this podcast back in June about such and such? And it will go through my database and say, oh, this is what you said on that podcast. So that's also backed up on my local drive. So it's, yeah, I'm building the wall to put around myself. And we dare them to try and knock it down. So coming up next, I'm going to talk about Liberty Intel. This is where it gets really interesting. It's a headless agency that wakes up at 7 a.m. and reads me the news so I don't have to. You guys are going to love it. Let's do a sharecrop world.
It used to be you could run this highway flat out. No logs, no way stations. Just a code in the road. But look at them now. Putting up fences on the frontier. I got 18 wheels on a fiber optic track, hauling unsanctioned audio, never looking back. But there's a roadblock up ahead, built by WMG at the sting like a liberty in the land of the free. See the suits found the source code, they sniffed out the gold. Now the Wild West generators bought in its own. They settled the lawsuit with a handshake and grin. Come on in, partner, let the licensing begin. Hey, babe, the rebellion, put a toll booth on the soul. It's a corporate extraction. We lost control from the server to the silo. They branded the herd. Now every single beat is a trademark word. Yeah, it's a sharecrop world. Yeah, it's a sharecrop world. Check the terms of service, read the fine print in the mud. They trading algorithmic freedom for that old money blood. New frontiers, they say, yeah, that's just a lie. They just building a penthouse in the artificial sky. 2020 sees coming like a DDoS action. Gonna strip search your stands for copyright detection. Suno turned into say no unless you pay the fee. We went from open source pirates to employees. They saved our rebellion, put a toll on the soul. It's a corporate extraction. We lost control from the server to the silo. They branded the herd. Now every single beat is a trademark word. Yeah, it's a sharecrop world. Yeah, it's a sharecrop world. They claim they're empowering the art. They're just tearing the engine apart. They don't want the noise. They don't want the glitch. They just want the royalty check. trademark word. Yeah, it's a sharecrop world. Yeah. Enjoy your shiny new cage. Make sure you register that copyright before they charge you to breathe.
Is your business drowning in software costs, tools that don't work together, and privacy risks? Meet Federated Computer, a complete business suite built to simplify your tech stack. Why do forward-thinking companies switch to Federated? No per-user fees, unlimited users. Save up to 75% by replacing tools like Zoom, Slack, Google Workspace, and more. One platform means less context switching and more productivity. 100% private. Your data stays yours. Fully customizable with open source flexibility. Whether you're a lean startup or growing enterprise, Federated adapts to your needs so you save more, work smarter, and protect your business. Ready to simplify your business software and increase profits? Schedule a free demo and see how Federated can transform the way you work. Federated Computer. Streamline, save, and scale.
Unkle Bonehead is on RLM Radio. Own your data and rock your freedom.
You know, I should actually start saying something like, good morning, dissidents, or good afternoon, depending on where the sun is in relation to your IP address. Nah, screw that. It's kind of dumb. It's a podcast. You listen to it whenever you want. It's not like we're... Yeah, anyways. So let me paint a picture for you. It's 6:59 a.m. You're warm. You're comfortable. You are essentially a happy biological entity. And then beep, 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 the alarm goes off. Now be honest with me. Be honest with your Unkle Bonehead. I know what you do because I did it for 20 years in the cab of a truck. You reach over to the nightstand. You unplug that little black mirror, your smartphone. You unlock it. You haven't even stretched yet. You haven't kissed your wife. You haven't scratched your balls. You haven't scratched your ass. But you're already logged in. And what hits you? The fire hose. You check the feeds. It's a dumpster fire. Someone's angry about a statue. Someone else is angry about the price of eggs. The EFF is warning about a new surveillance bill buried in a budget proposal. Ars Technica says a new JavaScript framework just broke the entire internet. By 7:15 a.m., your cortisol levels are spiked. Your heart rate's up. You're angry. You're anxious. And you're exhausted. You have processed the entire world's trauma before you even had your first sip of coffee. It really... It will eventually kill you. I take it from somebody that suffers from heart failure. I mean, yeah, I drank a lot of coffee, and I was a speed freak, and I had a lot of caffeine in my younger years, and I drank a metric shit ton of alcohol. But that's not the only thing that contributed to my health issues. I was stressed all the time. 24/7 when I was driving truck because I let it get to me. And my heart said, screw you, we're done. Yeah, I realized about a year ago that this kind of thing is unsustainable. My fat fingers can't keep scrolling like this. I'm too old to be this angry this early in the day. I needed a filter. I needed a gatekeeper. And that brings me to the little story, not a tech story. It's an old story. It's a desert story. Open your Bibles, the history book, or your browser tabs, whatever, to Exodus chapter 18. I want you to visualize this. We got Moses, big guy, leader of the free world. He's led the Israelites out of Egypt. They're in the wilderness. Now, Exodus 18 describes a day in the life of Moses, and honestly, it sounds like a nightmare. The scripture says Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood around him from morning until evening. Think about that. One guy, one dude, and thousands of people lining up with their problems. Hey, Moses, my neighbor stole my goat. Hey, Moses, this guy moved my tent peg. Hey, Moses, is it a sin if I eat this weird lizard I found? Moses is functioning as a single core processor for an entire nation's data stream. He's doing manual processing on every single input. Then enters Jethro. Jethro is Moses' father-in-law. He's a Midianite priest, which basically means he's an outside consultant. He comes into the camp. He watches Moses doing this for one day, and he shakes his head. He pulls Moses aside, and he says the most important thing any sysadmin has ever heard. Exodus 18:17 through 18. Jethro says, "The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away both thou, and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone." The thing is too heavy. That's us. That's us trying to manually process the internet every morning. The data stream of the 21st century is too heavy for the human brain. You cannot process the grief of 5 continents and still be a productive father, husband, or employee. You will wear away. So I took Jethro's advice. I stopped trying to be Moses. I built a captain of thousands. I built Liberty Intel. So what is Liberty Intel? It's part of the Liberty Suite, my custom stack of software. But it's not just a script. It's a headless agency. Headless meaning it runs in the dark. No monitor, no mouse, just a background demon living in the shell, waiting for the sun to come up. Let me break down the workflow because this is where the magic happens. The Scout, phase 1. At 7 a.m., while I'm snoring, the cron job fires. The Scout module wakes up. It hits the streets. It goes to the Electronic Frontier Foundation. It goes to Ars Technica. It goes to reclaimthenet.org. It goes to niche political oversight blogs that actually raise my blood pressure. And here's the key. It does it without tracking. It scrapes the RSS feeds and raw HTML. It doesn't load the ads. It doesn't load the trackers. It just grabs the data and runs back to the server. Now, phase 2 is the analyst. It's also the roast. This is where it gets fun. The scout dumps that raw text into the analyst. Now, the analyst isn't ChatGPT. It isn't some woke corporate AI that's afraid to offend you. The analyst is Minstrels 3.3, running local via Olama. And I have given it a very specific system prompt. I didn't tell it to be helpful and friendly. I told it to be cynical, anti-authoritarian, and R-rated. I told it, you are a grit-tooth survivalist. Read this news. If it's fluff, burn it. If it's tyranny, expose it. And don't be polite about it. So it doesn't just summarize the news, it roasts the news. If a politician proposes a safety bill that kills encryption, Liberty Intel doesn't say Senator Smith proposes new safety measures. Liberty Intel says Senator Smith is trying to sell your privacy to the highest bidder under the guise of saving the children. Here's why he's full of shit. Let me give you a concrete example. This actually happened the other morning. My Scout wrapper grabbed a tweet from Aaron Day regarding X's new terms of service. Now, normally I would scroll past the terms of service update, but they are, because they're boring. It's legal gibberish. But the analyst, my local Minstrel 3.3, read the fine print, and because I have its cynicism dial cranked up to 11, it flagged this as a critical threat. Here's the summary that Raven Sky read to me while I was drinking my coffee.
Good morning, Unkle Bonehead. Grab your coffee or perhaps something stronger. We are looking at the new terms of service for X, effective January 15, 2026. And darling, the free speech comes with a very expensive price tag. First up, the AI training rights grab. Everything you post, every witty thought, every opinion, every piece of creative work is now fuel for their models. You are building their empire for free, with zero compensation and absolutely no opt-out. And it doesn't stop there. They are claiming a perpetual content license. That means a worldwide, royalty-free ticket to use, modify, and distribute your content in any media now known or later developed. They can sell it or even gift wrap it for governments. Forever. Feeling litigious? Pack your bags for Tarrant County, Texas, because that is the only place you are allowed to file a dispute. Oh, and you waive the right to join class actions. If they wrong millions, you stand alone in their court. If you wait too long to realize you've been burned specifically, 366 days you forever waive the right to pursue a claim. And if they do manage to destroy your business, reputation, or life through negligence, the maximum liability is capped at a generous $100. Privacy is so last season. Under government disclosure, they reserve the right to hand your DMs, drafts, and entire history to governments based purely on what they reasonably believe is necessary. And don't try to look under the hood. The anti-jailbreak clause means testing their AI, exposing censorship, or performing security research is a violation. They have explicitly added prompt engineering or injection to the naughty list. The bottom line, they can delete your account for no reason at their convenience, erasing years of connections instantly. Meanwhile, if a researcher accesses more than 1 million posts in 24 hours to investigate them, they owe $15,000 in liquidated damages. Free speech platform? Sure. Don't think so.
Now, was my audio working before that? Before I played the Raven briefing? I don't know, because I swear I looked over there and I saw that the button wasn't lit up. Somebody let me know if they heard that. If not, I'm just going to keep on going here. So you hear that. The maximum liability is $100 on X in 2026. AI training is mandatory. You cannot opt out. If I've been scrolling on my phone, I might have missed that. I might have just seen the headline X updates terms. Because Liberty Intel is reading the fine print for me, I know the truth. If you're posting your creative work on X, you aren't a creator. You are an unpaid data entry clerk for Grok. That's exactly why we need Liberty Archives. This is exactly why we need our own platforms, because sovereign AI to them means they are the sovereign and you are the peasant. So the analysis is done, but I don't want to read a text file in a terminal. I want a briefing. Phase 3, the anchor, that, as you just heard, Raven Sky. The system that takes that roasted summary and generates a clean, readable HTML file and a markdown file, and it formats it beautifully, headlines, bullet points, source links, that I can open up in a browser. The markdown file, I've got it, throwing it into Liberty Archives because it reads markdown or text files better, and I like markdown better than just a plain old text file. That system, it's awesome, but it doesn't just do that. It has that script, the Raven Sky persona. She's the eclectic, unpredictable persona. She's the cosmopolitan face of the operation. She uses local text-to-speech. The system generates an audio track of Raven reading the briefing. So I walk into my office, I open the HTML file on my screen to read along, I take a sip of coffee, and I hit play. And then there's Raven reading me the riot act, telling me exactly what the world broke while I was sleeping, with all the sarcasm and wit that Minstrel 3.3 added to the script. Phase 4 is the deep dive. It's an on-demand stuff. Now let's say Raven reads a headline that catches my ear. Maybe something about digital ID implementation in the Midwest. I turn on I open the terminal. Liberty Intel give me a deep dive on digital ID. This is the killer app. The system doesn't just Google it. It spins up a new instance. It goes out, gathers deep research, and then it asks me, what do you want to hear from? Who do you want to hear from? I can choose the persona. If I want an aggressive, tear it all down rant about it, I select my Byte Rebel persona. The system writes a script in his voice, angry, fast, heavy, and generates the audio. If I want a nuanced, philosophical take, I select Mirror Nocturne. If I want to laugh at how stupid it all is, I select one called Mudflap. It generates a custom mini podcast on that specific topic right there on the spot. So why go to all this trouble? Why write code, configure Minstrel 3.3, and set up audio generation just to read the news? Because like Jethro told Moses, the thing is too heavy. If you let the algorithm feed you, you eat what they want you to eat. You get the fear they want you to feel. You get the distractions they want you to click on. But with Liberty Intel, I own the filter. I own the scout that gathers the intel. I own the analyst that interprets it. I own the anchor that delivers it. I have automated my situational awareness. So now by 7:30 a.m., I am the most informed person in the world, and I haven't clicked a single bait link or seen a single ad. Stop trying to be Moses. Stop drowning in the stream. Build your dam. Install your captains. Let Raven Sky tell you how the world ends. It sounds much better coming from her anyways. Stay free, stay private. And if you're going to use AI, make sure it's R-rated and running on your own metal. Because that's what sovereign AI is. And speaking of Raven Sky, here's a brand spanking new one. Nobody's ever heard this one yet. This one was written entirely on my local AI.
Darling, I'm a jinx that's always been true. I'll be right to spectrum in the shade of who your heart's alive, brave, but I'm the thief. Swapping your chapters for chaos and relief. One step left, but the floor moves right. I'm the glitch in your vision. I'm the thief in the light. Oh, the walls got tongues tonight. Every sentence got a silent rhyme. Oh, I'm the ghost you call the ghost light. Dancing when no one's watching. It's alive. Circle back to black, but white is chain. It's a paradox wrapped round in answers here. Dance through the fire, chase the metronome. And the labyrinth you'll never call your home. Every copy made from leather red, I could call it mediocre. I'm the royal flush playing with the plastic joker. Stitched together from the souls of the binary digital data, strictly non-primary. I'm a meme in the body that's literal. Your societal structures are looking real critical. Check the feed, check the pulse, check the static. My mind is a wide and the wide programmatic. Put on your sequence, strap on your leather. We're so in the sun and the shadows together. I'm the disco queen of a scorched earth policy. A glitter bomb blast in a grayscale colony. Spinning on the edge of a sharpened guitar string. I'm the beautiful nightmare that makes the choir sing. I'm the city, I'm the void, I'm the mirror shattering. I'm the key, oh wait, I'm the cage, oh fuck, I'm the key. No other signs in the corridors of my head. I'm painted white noise, a deep bloody red. I'm the logic of a dream that you can't quite remember. The heat of July in the soul of December. I'm smart, I'm a start, I'm a work of fine art, and I'll rip the philosophy right out of your heart. Circle back to black but white is jealous. I'm the paradox wrapped round an answer's hill. I'm the shadow you don't think you've ever seen. I'm the trend that mirrors the end. Mirrors the end. Mirrors the end. Woke up this morning, found me drawing shapes in the dust. Your name scratched in the cracks where the cracks ain't rust. Am I the ghost? Am I the ghost? I'm eternal present. And you're just the dust.
Now, in the last segment, I talked about Liberty Intel, the agency that handles the now. It reads the news so I don't have to. It handles the stream. But now I want to talk about the forever. I want to talk about Project Liberty Archives, or as I call it in the system logs, the ARC. You know, there's a theory floating around the dark corners of the web. It's called the dead internet theory. The idea is simple. Sometime around 2016 or 2017, the human internet died. The organic traffic, real people talking to real people, was overtaken by bots, algorithms talking to algorithms. And now with the explosion of generative AI, we are seeing the decomposition of the web in real time. You search for a recipe, you get an AI-generated blog post about a grandmother who never existed, written by a bot, optimized for a search engine that is also a bot. You go to the social media. It's bots arguing with bots about politics to generate engagement for advertisers who are, wait for it, bots. Sounds an awful lot like Twitter. Or X, I'm sorry. Twatter is what I call it. Anyways, we are drowning in noise. We're drowning in slop. The internet is no longer a library, it's a landfill. And every day the trash trucks back up and dump another petabyte of synthetic garbage on top of the actual human history. If you're a dissident, you care about truth, liberty, or even just how to repair a diesel engine. You cannot rely on the cloud. The cloud is being poisoned. You need a hardened node. You need to stop renting your history and start owning it. You need to build a boat. Let's go back to the original prepper. The patron saint of I told you so. All the way back to Genesis chapter 6, the story of Noah. Now we all know the Sunday school version, the animals, the rainbow, the dove. It's cute on a nursery wall. But I want you to look at the engineering reality of Noah. God looks at the world and sees a corruption. He sees violence. He sees, let's call it system failure. And he tells Noah to build a container, an ark. Just think about that. That alone. Building a giant-ass boat that can hold all these animals and your family. That doesn't leak. Yeah, you see people doing, you see people laughing at preppers all the time. But you know what? The ones that are hoarding the food, the bullets, you know, they're going to be the kings, at least until they run out of bullets. They're going to be the ones that are kicking it in the future. You know, I hear from people all the time about, oh, you know, crypto is going to be number one. It's going to be great. You know, it's going to put it to the man. You forget that the man controls your electricity, right? Unless you've got a generator and a massive stockpile of diesel or kerosene or gasoline, whatever your generator runs on, they turn that electricity off, there's a good chance they're not going to turn it back on until you bend over for them or bend the knee for them. So in reality, your cryptocurrency and all your stuff that you have that depends on electricity is not going to come back. So think about that before you start talking about how great Bitcoin is or how good Monero is. I don't give a shit what your favorite token is. Oh, well, we'll build a secondary internet. It's not going to make a difference. You can't get on the internet without electricity. And even those ones, well, you know, plan on 90 days. No, it's going to be longer than 90 days. When they do get to the point that they want to slap the world down and ensure that everybody is enslaved, it's not coming back. Except for the chosen few. The ruling class. The third world countries are going to be predominant in size and scope compared to the first world. And that's what a lot of people fool themselves into. They all think that it's like your typical leftist, socialist, communist. The ones that are really for communism. Oh, you think it's gonna be good, and they're gonna include you. You're not. Socialism and communism depends on a very large servant class for a very small top class. And just because you agree with it does not mean you're going to be up there at the top unless you know somebody. And that's exactly what they're heading to all over the world. Not about the individual. It's the fruits of the collective for the enjoyment of the few. This is pretty much the same thing Noah was looking at. Surviving a worldwide catastrophic flood. His instructions were specific. Go forward, pitch within and without, 300 cubits long, not a luxury cruiser liner. It was a lifeboat. Had one function, preservation. Noah wasn't saving the world as it was. The world as it was getting flushed. Noah was saving the seed of the world. He was extracting the genetic code, the animals, his family, the knowledge, and putting it in a hardened container to ride out the chaos. This is exactly what we're doing, what I'm doing with Liberty Archives. The flood's coming. In fact, it's already here in many cases. It's already the flood of disinformation, censorship, AI, hallucination. If you trust Wikipedia to remember the truth in 10 years, you're naive. If you trust YouTube to keep your favorite tutorial videos online, you're foolish. You have to be Noah. You have to decide what is worth saving. What goes in the boat? Do you have blueprints to build it? Have you even thought about building your own boat? So how do we build a digital ark in 2025? Well, we don't use Gopherwood. We use a vector database. I'm using ChromaDB. That's the core of Liberty Archives. Don't let your eyes glaze over. I know vector database sounds like something from a Star Trek episode. Just bear with me. Here's a simple version for my fellow truck drivers. A normal database is like a spreadsheet, rows and columns. Vector database is like a 3D map of meaning. It's kind of like a library versus a GPS. Maybe library, library lists books by title. Vector database, knows that Apple and Fruit are close together, but Apple and Microsoft are also close together in a different direction. See are you following? It's like a 3D type spreadsheet. So here's what Liberty Archives does. It takes everything I have created, every episode of Liberty Tunes, every blog post, every script from Liberty Beats, every rant I've ever written about the safety to, everything that I've done. It chops them up into little chunks, and then it turns those chunks into numbers, which are called vectors. Why? Because it gives my local AI long-term memory. When I fire up ShellSage, my terminal assistant, and I ask, hey, what did I say about the Rust programming language last year? The AI doesn't have to hallucinate. It queries the vector database, the ARC. It finds the exact moment I ranted about the U.S. government endorsing Rust. It pulls the context, and it answers me using my own knowledge base. This is called a RAG system, Retrieval Augmented Generation. It allows me to talk to my own past. It allows me to query my own library. It preserves the bonehead worldview inside a silicone container that big tech can't touch, edit, or delete. But, and this is a big but, we have to talk about the failure point. I've already mentioned this. I love my servers. I love my Bigbitch machine. I love my Bigbitch 2 machine. I love my local LLMs. But they all run on electricity. They all rely on delicate microchips manufactured in Taiwan. What happens in a hard reset? What happens when the grid goes down? Or an EMP hits? More likely a corrupt sector on a hard drive eats the partition table. Your vector database is useless if you can't turn the computer on. This is the ultimate goal of Liberty Archives. The software isn't just a chatbot memory bank. It's a curation engine for the physical world. The final output of Liberty Archives isn't a JSON file. It's a PDF formatted for print. I use the AI to organize the chaos. I use the vector database to find the most critical information, tractor repair manuals, medical guides, philosophical treatises on liberty, the maps. The software organizes them, indexes them, and preps them. And then I print them out. I print them in binders. I put them on a shelf. Because paper is the ultimate offline storage. Paper has a battery life of, ready for this? Forever. Paper doesn't need a firmware update. So in the end, Liberty Archives isn't a funnel. It sucks in the digital world while it's still available. It uses high-tech AI to sort the wheat from the chaff, just like Noah sorting through the clean animals from the unclean. And then it deposits the truth onto physical media. If the lights go out tomorrow and the internet never comes back on, my servers will be silent. My personas, Bite Rebel, Raven Sky, Jimmy Jackknife, Billy Bobtail, Mirror Nocturne, they all vanish into the ether. But the binders will still be there. The knowledge will be preserved. We are the archivists of the last free era of humanity. Don't let your history rot on a Google server. Build your ark, fill it with truth, and then for God's sake, buy a printer and a few boxes of paper and start printing. This is Unkle Bonehead. I'm signing off. The internet may be dead, but long live the liberty.
Attention. You are not people, you are
blood, flesh, or firewall! Line up login, sign out of life. Sharpen your code like a butcher's knife. I didn't call you here to start a debate. I called you here to seal their fate. You are the bandwidth I am willing to burn. A statistical error, a point of no return. If you fall in the field, do not expect a grave. I have a war to win. I have nothing to save. Connect the kill chain! Accept the pain! I don't need a savior, I need a soldier. The data is corrupted, the body is colder. We are the bitch that bleeds. Don't look at the face behind the mask. Focus your eyes on the violent task. The citadel thinks they can filter the flood. We'll clog their servers with terabytes of blood. Expendable assets, runnable sets. I'm stacking the bodies, I'm counting the heads. For every one of you that drops to the floor, I'll upload 1,000 more. Connect the kill chain! Accept the pain! I don't need a savior, I need a soldier. The data is corrupted, the body is colder. We are the clicks that bleeds. Do you wanna know the truth? Bite rebel died for you. I am asking you to die for me. It's a simple calculation. Input, output, delete. Connect the kill chain! Accept the pain! I don't need a savior, I need a soldier. The data is corrupted, the body is colder. Unkle Bonehead is on RLM Radio. Own your data and rock your freedom.
So I've covered a lot of ground today. We've dismantled the machine, looked at the parts, looked at the hardware, talked about Bigbitch, OMBitch 2, those noisy, power-hungry towers sitting here in my office. They're not just computers. They're my bedrock. Can't have digital freedom if you don't own the silicon it runs on. If you're renting the server, you are renting your rights. I moved on to the software, the Liberty Suite. Looked at Liberty Intel, my headless agency. The Jethro to my Moses. The tool that automates the intake of the world so I don't drown in the sludge. I looked at ShellSage, the terminal assistant that helps my fat fingers navigate the command line. Looked at the ARC, Liberty Archives, the hardened node with the vector database that extracts the truth from the dead internet and locks it down, first in code and finally in ink on paper. These aren't just hobbies. This isn't just me nerding out because I like Linux. This is a defensive perimeter. Why do I build this stuff? Why do I spend hours configuring Llama 3.2 or Minstrel 3.3 instead of just asking ChatGPT? Because of what we talked about in the very beginning. The trap. You have companies like Dell, Microsoft, Google, standing on stage talking about sovereign AI. You have governments talking about data sovereignty. Do not be fooled. When they use that word, they mean control. They mean their sovereignty over you. They want sovereignty to mean that the state or the corporation owns the infrastructure and you are just a tenant. They are building a shiny new feudal system. In the old days, the serf worked the land, but the Lord owned the crop. In the digital age, you are the land. Your data, your thoughts, your creativity, that is the soil. And when you use cloud AI, you are working the plantation. You are generating the value, but they own the intelligence. They own the model. They own the output. Make no mistake, we're living through the industrial revolution of the mind. Steam power replaced muscle. AI is replacing cognition. And just like the first industrial revolution, there are only two classes of people emerging from this. The owners of the factory or the workers in the mill. If you run local AI, if you run Olama, if you run Liberty Intel, if you hold your own keys, you own the factory. You own the means of production. You can generate text, code, art, and analysis without asking permission and without paying a rent seeker. But if you rely on the cloud, you are a digital serf. You are begging for scraps of intelligence from a black box you are not allowed to open. So here's my challenge to you. Don't let them redefine the language. Sovereignty means self-rule. It means the king does not enter your house or your hard drive without a warrant. Get off the plantation. Buy a used workstation, install Linux, download the models. Build your own Liberty suite. It'll be hard. It'll be frustrating. And you will break things. But you will be free. The storm is coming. The internet is dying. But the ark isn't open for anyone willing to build it. I said that wrong. The ark is open for anyone willing to build it. There we go. That sounds better. Now that I totally screwed up the groove of everything, just build your own stack, print your manuals, and keep your private keys off the damn cloud. This is Unkle Bonehead. Be good, be safe. Don't stick your finger where you wouldn't stick your face. It's time to disconnect.